Hello, my name is Derek, and this is the Gateway Log. Typically, when I do these episodes, it's to highlight my experiences with the Gateway tapes. I did something a little outside of the Gateway tapes where I went to a past life regression therapist or psychic just to see what the experience was. The reason why I want to bring it up on this channel is because there's a lot of things that have been awakened in me by using the tapes, and then something huge happened that have been sort of related to things I've seen in the tapes, and now this became a real thing. So I want to talk a little bit about that. So I went to a past life regression therapist psychic where it was essentially a 2-hour process where I got to lay down on a bed in a very dimly lit room with some soft music, meditation music, and I had a psychic who was doing Reiki therapy on me while asking me questions. So, she gets you to relax, lay down, calm down. She asked me a few questions about my current life and my family. And after a few minutes of that, then she's like, all right, relax. And when I tried to relax, I tried to focus on between focus 10 and focus 12, where my body's asleep, but my mind's awake. This is the first time I've done a meditation where I'm actually talking out loud, because she has you say everything you see as you're having a communication with her. She also let me record the whole thing with my phone. So I have an hour and 45 minutes of this, but Cliff Notes. So the first thing that I see is that I am in the desert and it's nighttime, and it reminded me of something like the Grand Canyon, and I saw a big fire against one of these like big desert walls, and I saw like a blanket made of different colors. And then around the fire, I see a little boy who I understood to be my son. And then a little further was a woman who was carrying a baby in like wolf pelts. And, and I didn't know much about these people, like just looking at them. And the therapist is asking me, who are they to me? And, I start to understand that that's my family. She's asking me, is there anybody else there? I don't see anybody. Then she had me go, back in time so I could learn more about myself. And then there I'm, a teenager, and I'm becoming a man. And it looks like my father's a Native American. I don't know how I became a man. I just know that he's proud of me, and it's in the woods, and it's in a busy, like there's a lot of like tents or teepees and things like that. And then she told me to go to my last day of my life, and I was just an old man in a tent dying. I wasn't necessarily sick. I was just ready to go. I was resolute. I was like, no, I accomplished everything. My relationships are good with my family and everything. I feel good. I'm ready to go. And so I passed. And then she brought me into another life where it took me a minute to visualize this one. And I was in the ocean, like floating in water. And I soon realized that I'm right next to an island, and there's not a huge, but a pretty big boat ship with a giant gash in it. You can't use it, and but there's nobody else on the island. And I talked about like walking through the woods that are near the coast and grabbing berries, and there's certain berries I can't eat because they'll make me sick. She asked me, how do I eat on this island outside of berries? And I was like, fish. I'm not a very good fisherman. I'm like 16, 17 years old. This was my first time riding on a shipping ship. And I guess I had a falling out with a family, or somebody in my family died or something. So this was my chance to start over. Old ships. We're talking 1700s maybe. They still had the wooden crates and all that. It reminded me a little bit of like pirate ships kind of deal. But there was no one on the island. I was there alone. To fish, I tried to use a spear, but I didn't know how to start a fire. So if I caught a fish, I had to eat it immediately, or I'd get sick. But my vision was that I did get sick, and I did die on that island alone. Nobody found me. A note about those two memories, like you're supposed to say the first thing that enters your mind. So during those, I was saying what came to my mind. And, it seems like cohesive stories, but I didn't necessarily have a huge connection to those two stories. I was like, well, maybe it's right. But again, I'm somebody like, I got to feel like, no, this is real. Well, here's where things get crazy. She asked me if we can go to another life. Maybe we can go into the future. Okay. So I'm laying there, and then I see an alien face. Like I've seen this same face in previous meditations over the last few weeks. So this is connected to the gateway tapes. I've seen these faces. Usually I see three of them and they look like gray aliens, like big gray heads, big black eyes, just looking at me, and and then they disappear. So only one face shows up, and then it disappears. I'm like, I see a face. He disappears. She's like, well, ask him to come back. Let him know you want to talk to him. And I'm like, okay. So in my head, I'm like, hey, I want to talk. I'm open. And then the face shows up again, and then it disappears. And she's like, what did it do? I'm like, it went away again. She's like, no, you tell him you're ready to communicate. Then um, I started to vibrate a little heavier, and I had a uh, I had it's like I in the recording, and I'm gonna play this recording in the video. I had a um, I saw a black void, which is essentially like when you have the back of your eyelids and you're dreaming or sleeping or anything like that. Usually there's a little bit of light. I liken it to like a LCD TV where when it's black, it's still a little light. It's a little gray black. When you have an OLED TV, it's completely black. So in my back of my eyes, I said out loud, it's like it's it's the void. The black just got so dark, and I started to say, I can see. And then I started to I lost control of my vocal cords, and I started to vibrate, and I started to shake, and I could not speak the words I wanted to speak because I was trying to explain to my lady what I'm seeing and let her know I'm not afraid. I'm trying to just stay present. I lost complete control of myself for a moment where I'm shaking and my vocal cords are vibrating, and yeah, it was a freaky moment. So I'm gonna play that now.
Right now I just see electricity in a sort of circle of power, and then I feel tingling.
Okay.
Much like I do in like different focuses where like body asleep, mind awake. Now my eyes, everything's going really pitch black, void black, which is a difference from when my eyes are just closed. And now I see a face.
You're safe. You're safe. You're safe. They can't harm you. They cannot harm you. You are safe.
I see his eyes. I felt like I was being pulled into a tunnel, a portal, when he took over my voice. Oh.
They're not allowed to take you over.
I don't feel afraid. I just, that's a new way of communicating.
But they can't take over. They have to do it on your terms.
That's new. And I'm trying to communicate. I'm not afraid. That was involuntary.
So yeah, that was I was shaking a lot when it was happening, and then my adrenaline spiked, and I didn't. It was kind of hard to come down from that for a bit because where the other two things, I'm like, yeah, it was, they're fine. This one, what it didn't scare me per se, but it was definitely like that's different, that's new. I haven't done that before. Um, and at the end of the experience, she asked my higher self, you know, questions, and my higher self. It was very brief, but very much you'd ask if there's anything I needed to know, and I essentially said in a slightly different voice. It was weird. I spoke quickly, and I spoke yes, no. I said that I need to stay the path. Um, and is there anything that she could do? My higher self said, "You've already done it. You've opened the portal. You stay the path. Keep going." So At the end of the session, she told me she could see three beings, three shadows essentially in the corner of the room, two tall and one really small one. And she said she was a little worried. She's like, I wasn't sure if I should pull you out or what. I wasn't sure if you were in trouble because you sounded concerned, and I was just like, no, I just couldn't speak. I wasn't like I was open, but so again, not directly connected to the gateway tapes, but also it kind of is because a lot of things I've been seeing have been a result of the gateway tapes, and then this kind of bridged that a little further. But now I think I understand what it means to channel somebody, something, and I did a little research, and like you heard my vocal cords go from like a low vibration, like and it comes up. I read somewhere that it's like they're trying to tune me like a guitar string to raise to their vibration so that we can talk on the same length. So I don't know. I all I can tell you is I didn't make that up. I didn't do that to create a situation to I want clicks and views. I'm doing all of this for myself to prove if it's right or wrong, and that was another one of those holy shit moments. So, um, so let me know what you think. Let me know if you've ever had an experience like that. I would love to know it. Like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next Gateway log. My name is Derek. We'll see you later.